All right, let's dive into something that's really starting to take off, AI voice cloning. Today, we're going to break down a guide that looks at this not just as a piece of cool tech, but as a brand new skill you can actually monetize. The whole idea is that your voice, your voice, could be your next big digital asset. So let's see how that works. So that really is the big question that kicks this all off, isn't it? Could your own voice become a digital asset, something you own and can use to create value? It's a pretty wild thought, and honestly, it's why this whole field is getting so much attention right now. And that leads us to this core concept from the guide. Voice is becoming the new content currency. Just like we think of photos, videos, or even text as content, well, the human voice is now stepping onto that same stage. It's becoming this valuable thing that can be created, traded, and used in the digital world. Which brings us to what some are calling the new voice economy. It's this whole new landscape where that voice currency is being spent and earned. But, what does that actually look like in practice? Where is this all happening? Well, truth is, it's pretty much everywhere already. You see it in the explosion of TikTok and Reels, where a great voiceover can make a video go viral. It's the narration for tons of those faceless YouTube channels. It's the voices bringing audiobooks to life, the ones in commercials trying to sell you stuff. It's even being used for AI assistants and to narrate online courses. The list of uses is just getting longer and longer. Okay, so how in the world does this technology actually work? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit and get a simple explanation of what AI voice cloning really is. So at its heart, AI voice cloning is basically a process where an AI tool listens really, really closely to a recording of your voice. It's not just hearing the words you're saying, it's analyzing all the little things. Your pitch, your tone, your pacing, your accent, all the unique stuff that makes you sound like you. And then it builds a digital model of it. Maybe the easiest way to wrap your head around it is this. Think of it like ChatGPT, but for your voice, right? ChatGPT learned from tons of text how to generate new sentences. Well, these voice tools learn from your vocal patterns how to generate new speech. You just give it a script and poof, it talks in your voice. But hold on. Before we go a single step further, we have to talk about what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole conversation, the ethical rules. With technology this powerful, you have to have some serious guardrails in place. And the guide we're looking at is crystal clear on this point. This technology should be treated as a professional tool, not as a toy for messing around or pulling pranks. The potential for misuse is huge, so these rules, they're not really optional. And the rules are actually pretty straightforward. They all boil down to consent. The big do's are only clone your own voice or a voice you have explicit written permission to use. And the don'ts are just as clear. You absolutely do not impersonate someone without their consent, create fake news or scams, or use a celebrity's voice for an ad. The bottom line is simple: ownership and permission are everything. Okay, so with those really crucial ethical rules front and center, let's get into the practical side. What do you actually need to create your own AI voice? Let's take a look at the tooltip. You might be surprised at how simple the list is. First, and this is the most important part, you need a clean audio recording. That just means you need a quiet place to record with no background chatter or noise. The AI only needs about 30 seconds to 3 minutes of you talking. Then, of course, you need an AI tool to do the magic. And finally, a little script to test out the results. Now, when it comes to the tools, there are a few big names that usually come up for folks just starting out. 11 Labs is often talked about for its really high quality. PlayHT is great for narration. Then you've got Descript, which is kind of like an all-in-one suite for content creators, and Murph AI, which is more geared towards business and corporate use. They all have their strong suits. It just depends on what you're trying to do. And the actual process? It's literally just 4 steps. Step 1, you record yourself speaking clearly and naturally. Step 2, you upload that clean audio file. Step 3, you kick back and let the AI do its thing. It trains on your voice. And then, step 4, you just paste in some text, hit generate, and it speaks those words in your voice. It's that simple. Now, if you want to get a really good clone, there are a few pro tips that make a huge difference. Try to record in a room with soft things, like a carpet or curtains, to cut down on echo. Absolutely no background music or noise. Speak at a normal, steady pace. Don't rush. And finally, don't whisper. The AI needs to hear your full, clear voice to learn it properly. Okay, so we've got the how down. Now let's get to the part that probably got your attention in the first place, the why. This isn't just about making a cool digital copy of your voice. It's about how you can potentially turn this into an income stream. So how do you do it? The guide points to a bunch of different ways you could earn money. You could offer your voice for business ads or explainer videos. You could become the go-to narrator for YouTube channels that don't show a person's face. There's a big market for audiobook and online course narration. And one that's growing really fast is what's called UGC-style voiceovers. That's user-generated content style, where brands want something that sounds more authentic and less like a polished radio ad. And to make this feel a little more real, the guide gives a super simple example for a beginner. Let's say you sold just 5 short voiceovers in a week, charging a pretty modest 25 euros for each one. Well, that's 125 euros a week. It just helps put a tangible number on what the potential could be, even when you're just starting out. But, and this is a big but, here's where the guide makes a really crucial point. It says that actually creating the voice clone, that's the easy part. The real work, the thing that most people get wrong, lies somewhere else completely. And the difference is right here, focusing on the tool versus focusing on the strategy. See, most beginners get completely wrapped up in the tool, learning the software, tweaking the voice. But the pros, they focus on the strategy. They're learning how to write scripts that actually get people to take action, how to price their services correctly, and maybe most importantly, how to actually find clients who need what they're selling. And that leaves us with this final thought-provoking question. Is the real skill here mastering the technology, or is it mastering the strategy? The argument being made is that while the AI is incredibly cool, it's the human strategy behind it that turns a neat trick into a real valuable skill. And that's a really powerful idea to